Have you ever wondered why it's so hard to move forward, even when nothing around you is holding you back? The truth is, sometimes the heaviest things we carry aren't visible at all. Imagine you're walking through life with a backpack, but it's not filled with clothes or gear, it's filled with stones. Each stone is a regret, a moment you wish you could change, a harsh word spoken in anger, a decision made in fear, a goodbye you never wanted to say. You try to move on, but every step feels harder than the last. Every new experience is colored by the weight you carry. The burden doesn't disappear. It follows you, quietly, steadily, through every moment of your life. And here's the painful part. No matter how much time passes, that backpack doesn't get lighter. In fact, sometimes it feels heavier. But what if the weight you're carrying isn't as permanent as it seems? What if there's a way, not to erase the past, but to see it differently, to shift how you carry those stones? You see, many of us
believe that our past defines us, that our mistakes are permanent stamps on our identity.
But there's another way to view it, one that has existed quietly for centuries, whispered through the teachings of monks, poets, and warriors in Japan. It's not a quick fix. It's not a trick to forget. It's a philosophy that allows us to transform our relationship with the past. It offers the gift of perspective, of freedom, not from what happened, but from how it lives inside us. Today, I want to share with you that perspective. A lens so powerful, it can change how you see every experience you've ever had, even the painful ones. By the end of this journey, you may find yourself walking lighter. Not because your past disappears, but because it no longer defines your steps. Let me ask you something. If your pain could speak, what would it say? Would it ask to be buried, forgotten, or would it ask to be understood? That's where we begin, not with answers, but with a question. Are you ready to finally put down the weight? Because this story isn't just about Japanese wisdom. It's about you, your journey, your healing, and it begins now. If you've ever carried a past that felt too heavy, stick with me. What comes next might just shift everything you thought you knew about regret. Let's take the first step together. Rewriting the past. Through a new lens, we often treat the past like it's written in stone, as if what happened yesterday must always define who we are today. In Western thinking, we're taught to see our past as fixed, like a movie we can't rewrite. If you failed, then you're a failure. If you lost something, you're incomplete. We carry these stories for years without realizing. They aren't facts, they're interpretations. But what if the past isn't set in stone at all? What if it's more like water, shaped and reshaped by the container we place it in? This is where an ancient Japanese philosophy quietly enters our story. It's called mono no aware, a phrase that translates to the gentle sadness of things, or an awareness of impermanence. At first it sounds poetic, but its power goes deeper than words. Mono no aware teaches us this. Everything in life is temporary. The good, the bad, the beautiful, the painful. Nothing stays the same, not even our memories. Think about it. Have you ever looked back at an old moment, something that once hurt you deeply, and noticed that the pain feels different now? Maybe softer, maybe more distant. That's not because time erased it. It's because you changed, and so did the way you see it. Mono no aware doesn't ask us to forget our past. It invites us to see it with new eyes, to understand that every moment, no matter how hard, was always meant to pass. Imagine a cherry blossom tree in bloom. Its beauty lies in how fleeting it is. If the blossoms lasted forever, we might stop noticing them. But because they fall so soon, we treasure them even more. Now think of your life like that. The heartbreak, the mistakes, the losses. Maybe they weren't meant to be permanent wounds, but fleeting parts of a larger unfolding story. A story still being written, Let's take an example from history. Miyamoto Musashi, one of Japan's most legendary samurai, wasn't always victorious. Early in life, he faced defeat and rejection. He could have let those moments define him. But he didn't. He saw his failures as lessons, his pain as a forge. His journey became a series of stepping stones, not stumbling blocks. He didn't change the past. He changed the meaning of the past. So here's the truth. The past is only as heavy as the meaning we attach to it. And Mono no Aware gently reminds us that even our hardest moments were never meant to last forever. Take a deep breath. Think about a painful memory. Now ask yourself, what did it teach me? How did it shape who I am? If this resonates with you, stay with me, because what comes next will help you see even the broken parts of your story as something truly beautiful. The beauty in brokenness, wabi-sabi, and the art of embracing imperfection. If Mono no Aware teaches us to accept impermanence, then wabi-sabi invites us to go one step deeper, into the heart of our scars. Wabi-sabi is not about perfection, it's about embracing the imperfect, the incomplete, and the weathered. It whispers a truth many of us were never taught growing up. Your brokenness is not something to hide. It's something to honor. Imagine for a moment a ceramic bowl, smooth, whole, flawless. Now imagine that bowl slips from your hands and shatters into pieces. Most of us would see that as the end, something ruined, useless. But not in Japan. There's an ancient art called kintsugi, the practice of repairing broken pottery using lacquer mixed with powdered gold. The result? The cracks aren't hidden, they're highlighted. The gold fills the fractures, creating delicate, shimmering veins that make the object even more beautiful than before. Now pause and think about your own life, your regrets, your heartbreaks, your mistakes. What if they weren't signs of failure, but cracks lined with gold? What if every scar you carry is part of a masterpiece still unfolding? Wabi-sabi teaches us that beauty isn't found in what's perfect, it's found in what's real, in what has endured, in what has survived. Let me tell you a story. In ancient Japan, there lived a tea master named Sen no Rikyu. During his time, wealthy nobles flaunted luxurious tea sets made of pristine porcelain. But Rikyu saw beauty elsewhere. He chose bowls that were rough, handmade, sometimes chipped. Why? Because to him, their imperfections were what made them human, authentic, sacred. He believed that the true essence of life was not found in polish, but in presence. Now think about your own journey. How many times have you looked back and said, if only I had done things differently, if only I hadn't made that mistake? But what if those moments were the exact ones that shaped you into who you are today? What if the pain you wish you could erase is the very thing that gave you depth, resilience, and wisdom? Wabi-sabi gently reminds us that your story is not ruined just because it includes broken chapters. In fact, those chapters might be the most meaningful of all, because, here's the truth, your cracks are not flaws. They are your gold. They are what make you, you. Call to action. If you've ever felt like you're too damaged, too flawed, or too broken to move forward, look again. Look at yourself through the lens of wabi-sabi. What you see as imperfection, the world may one day call beautiful. If that touches something inside you, stay with me. In the next section, we'll explore how to finally release what no longer serves you by letting go of who you used to be. You are not who you were, the freedom of Muga. Let me ask you something personal. Who were you 5 years ago? What were your dreams back then? What kept you up at night? What made your heart race with excitement or fear? Now pause and think. You still that same person today? Chances are you're not. Your thoughts have shifted. Your beliefs have evolved. Even your pain. It's not the same pain you carried back then. And yet, So many of us still live as if we are chained to our past selves, as if who we were then still defines who we are now, as if we are carved from stone, unchanging and permanent. But the truth is, we are more like water, flowing, adapting, changing, and This is where the ancient Japanese concept of muga comes in. Muga is the idea that the self is not a fixed identity, but a constantly evolving state of being. It is the realization that you are not your past, not your mistakes, not your regrets. Imagine a river. It looks the same each time you pass by, but the water is never the same. It's always moving, always becoming something new. You are the same, but we forget that. We cling to our old stories. I'm the one who failed. I'm the one who was abandoned. I'm the one who ruined everything. We repeat these narratives until they become identities. And then we wonder why we can't move forward. But here's what Muga teaches us. You don't need to fix the past version of you, because that version no longer exists. That person was real, but they're gone. They were doing the best they could with what they knew, and you are here, now, with new eyes, new strength, new wisdom. The question is, are you ready to let go of the story that no longer fits the person you've become? Think of it like this. If you picked up a heavy bag 5 years ago, and you've been carrying it ever since, does it make sense to keep holding it just because you picked it up long ago? Or is it finally time to set it down? This is why Zen monks practice meditation, not to escape life, but to fully experience it in the present moment. Because every time you return to now, you give yourself the chance to become something new, to grow without the chains of who you used to be. So let me ask you, what old identity are you still carrying? What would happen if you stopped believing that it was you? Because you are not your pain. You are not your past. You are not even your thoughts. You are this moment. And in this moment, you are free. Call to action. If this resonates, take a breath with me. Inhale. Exhale. Let go of the version of you that no longer exists. And if you're ready to take one more step forward, join me in the next section, where we'll uncover the final key, the most powerful concept of all, Ichigo Ichie, the beauty of this moment. This moment will never come again. The beauty of Ichigo, Ichi. Imagine this. You're sitting outside, watching the sun slowly melt into the horizon. The sky is painted with gold, pink, and fading blue. You blink, and in that tiny moment it changes. You'll never see that sunset again. Not exactly like that. And that is the heart of Ichigo Ichi. A phrase that means one time, one meeting, or more poetically, this moment will never happen again. Let that settle in for a second. Every breath you take, every smile from a stranger, every quiet moment you share with someone you love is once in a lifetime. It will never come back in exactly the same way, ever. When we realize this, something amazing happens. We stop living in the past. We stop rushing into the future, and we return home to the present, where life is actually happening. Because if everything we've explored so far is true, if the past doesn't define you, if your scars are part of your story, if the self is always changing, then this moment, right now, is the only thing that's truly real, Ichigo. Ichi reminds us, don't just exist, live. Don't just wait for special moments. Treat every moment as special, because you won't get it back. So the next time you laugh with a friend, the next time you watch the rain fall, or hear a song that moves you, be there, fully. Let it soak into your soul like sunlight on your skin, because you'll never meet that version of the moment again. It's not about forcing yourself to be happy all the time. It's about being awake to everything, even the bittersweet, even the endings, because Even endings are part of the beauty. This is why so many Zen masters, poets, and artists carry Ichigo Ichi in their hearts. It's not just philosophy, it's a way of life, a reminder that nothing is ordinary when we choose to be present. So I'll leave you with this question. What will you do with this moment, the one you have right now? Will you let it pass by unnoticed, or will you meet it with full attention, as if it's the first and last time? Because in many ways, if this message touched you, if it helped you see your past differently and opened your heart to the beauty of now, then don't just keep it to yourself. Like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear this. Comment below. What moment are you going to cherish today? Subscribe for more soul-deep content like this. We're just getting started. Remember this always. You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are not broken. You are becoming. And this moment, this one right here, is your chance to begin. Again, thank you for watching. Take a deep breath, live fully, and I'll see you in the next video.